Right guys, I expect you all remember what happened on London Bridge last year, just before the election, involving one of the ideological losers that the Corbynated chicken might call a friend in future. You might also remember the guys seen fending him off, keeping him away from the general public with a Narwhal Tusk and a fire extinguisher in the middle of London Bridge. Well, at the time, there was questions being asked about how these people should be thanked for what they did, by containing the threat until the police arrived and sent him for a dirt nap. The main reason being because one of them, named Stephen Gallant, was at the time on day release serving 17 years for murder, which, having read the court documents on the case, occurred over an apparent assault on Stephen Gallant's girlfriend. A fight occurs outside a pub, one guy ends up dead and 3 end up in court. It's a stupid situation with no good coming for it from anyone. How they arrived at a murder charge for this though is still beyond me, considering I didn't see any evidence to suggest there was a plan to actually kill the guy. Now, after the London Bridge event and his actions, some people called for Stephen Gallant's release from prison to show gratitude for what he did, and of course some people did not, because he's a convicted murderer. But it seems the Queen has made that decision herself, doing something I can't say I've heard of her doing before. She has sort of given him a royal pardon, removing some of his sentence, making him eligible for parole in June 2021. Maybe the Queen does not like jihadi fuckpigs, it seems, because she has never done this before, like I said. So I do have to say, good on her for that. The whole country, with the exception of the Labour Party, agrees jihadi fuckpigs are the scum of the earth, and helping to take one down is something that deserves recognition. But let's be honest here, there is a few things she could sort out for the rest of us if she's feeling generous. We will take our freedom back, for instance, but I expect that is too much to ask. Now, I will say once again, as I did at the time, well done to Stephen Gallant for grabbing that Narwhal Tusk and having out the scumbag until the police gave him what he deserved. And for those who say, what about the family of the man he killed, it seems the guy's 21-year-old son has come out saying he has mixed emotions. But he goes on to say what happened on London Bridge goes to show the reality that people can change, which is true in some cases, I guess. This one appears to be one of them. But personally, as I said earlier, I always thought that if the Queen pardoned you, then you walked free from prison there and then. But I guess she decides whatever she wants since the courts act in her name. Now, I am just speculating here, but given the Queen's intervention, I expect he will get parole next year, having served like 14 years in prison at least. Him being out on day release at the time shows he was coming to the end of his sentence anyway, so really this gesture is not as big as it may seem, but I'm sure he will take it. We always have to remember, at the end of the day, what he did was a service to the public and he should be praised for it. More could have died at the hands of Corbyn's old mate if him and the others did not intervene. Now, I would say I hope he can make something of his life when he comes out, but the country is being plunged into the shitter, so it's not likely he will. A whole country on government support is where we're heading by the time he's out.
There is a pattern consistent throughout history of oppressed people turning on the oppressors, slaves against their owners, the peasantry against the feudal barons, colonies, Mr. Verhofstadt, against their empires, and that is why Britain is leaving. And it doesn't matter which language you use, we are going, and we are glad to be going. We're off.